It's absolutely crazy as you listen to this. She really does just kind of line out what her method is. And there's just a lack of self-awareness here that is just, it's insane. It's actually insane to watch. And I'm very surprised that she felt comfortable enough to say all of this out loud. And I don't feel like it's taking things out of context. I don't feel like it's manipulating her.
During the SNL appearance, SNL was a test to see how fans would react to them. It was their first outing together since Blake filed, and it did not bode well for them. Ryan and Blake both now realize if their careers are to survive, they cannot be involved in the same projects because everything will be heavily scrutinized. Now, I would argue even their solo projects are going to be scrutinized. You guys clearly aren't backing down. You're frustrated with them, and I hear why. I am too. If they really played the power moves that they did and lied.
Blake Lively didn't merely blur boundaries with Ryan Reynolds, she obliterated them entirely, while dazzling the public as the perfect partner at events and online. She was secretly undermining his professional path and using Justin Baldoni as a calculated tool in her personal game. This unfolding web of manipulation and control pulls back the curtain on Hollywood's most adored duo, revealing a dark undercurrent few ever suspected. Once the lights go out and the set clears, the real drama emerges in. It's far juicier than anything on screen.
SNL appearance. SNL was a test to see how fans would react to them. It was their first outing together since Blake filed, and it did not bode well for them. Ryan and Blake both now realize if their careers are to survive, they cannot be involved in the same projects because everything will be heavily scrutinized. Now, I would argue even their solo projects are going to be scrutinized. You guys clearly aren't backing down. You're frustrated with them, and I hear why. I am too. If they really played the power moves that they did and lied, shame on them, of course. But I don't fault him for not showing up because I agree with this reasoning. It would have been even more intense, more scrutinized, and I think they do need to do their separate appearances if they need to do them. Really, it's about protecting their separate incomes, the source explained. Blake is unsure about the future of her career because of the backlash she has received. She does not want to have a family with no income, and she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fallout. I would agree with that. It has. He's still going to be Deadpool. He's not going to lose gigs. I do think Blake will have a tougher time getting gigs, not because of a retaliation campaign, but because of her demanding authorship. Go make your own movies, Blake. Go make your own.
They flash perfect smiles for cameras, glide through red carpet appearances in seamless sync, and charm fans with those polished Instagram moments. But what actually unfolds behind closed doors when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds retreat from the spotlight? Insiders now claim their celebrated fairy tale may be more illusion than intimacy. For years, they've carefully curated a brand of effortless romance, coordinated fashion statements, cheeky online banter, and heartwarming interviews designed to feel authentic. Two attractive stars, raising an equally picture-perfect family, positioned as relatable royalty. Yet multiple Hollywood veterans now allege that what fans see is a tightly scripted act, not a genuine relationship. One industry producer with first-hand experience calls Blake the mastermind behind the illusion, reportedly directing everything from their gala appearances to how Ryan presents stories on late-night talk shows. According to the source, she treats their marriage like a controlled PR narrative. Recent public appearances have reportedly betrayed subtle cracks. At a premiere last month, 3 independent observers noticed Ryan's strained smile each time Blake commandeered the mic. As soon as attention shifted, he subtly distanced himself down the press line, something he hadn't done before. Behind the scenes, Blake's approach allegedly grows more tactical. Crew members from multiple sets claim she publicly praises Ryan, yet privately critiques his work. A production staffer recalls hearing her applaud him for a scene. It's only to text a director minutes later saying Ryan repeats the same expressions in every take. These remarks, insiders say, are quietly building up. Top studio exec confirms receiving emails where Blake describes Ryan as charming but limited, suggesting he's not cut out for emotionally complex roles. Though fans have long read their humor as affectionate, relationship expert Dr. Marianne Cooper identifies a more calculated pattern in their public exchanges. Blake comes off as poised and elegant, while Ryan is subtly portrayed as immature. It's a form of quiet hierarchy, she says, a way to assert dominance without confrontation. Things reportedly escalated last year when, during development talks for a major drama, a director privately warned Ryan that Blake had discouraged executives from casting him in serious roles. Allegedly, she told producers he lacked the emotional depth for tragic characters, suggesting he stick with comedic fare. The most cutting claim? That Blake has downplayed Ryan's talent, telling others his entire fame hinges on one superhero costume not acting range. These whispers have reached major casting rooms, with insiders saying 2 significant roles have already slipped away. Behind the smiles, Ryan may be growing weary. So the next time you admire their perfectly staged family portrait, consider this: you might not be witnessing love, but rather a brand crafted by Blake with precision and tolerated by Ryan out of resignation. Even their home life reflects the disconnect. According to staff, they sleep in separate quarters, only appearing side by side when stylists, photographers, or studio execs come knocking for a dose of their carefully marketed unity.
Of being with her co-stars.
It's true.
That's what's being alleged here between, obviously, as we know, with Penn Badgley, Ryan Reynolds. There was talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. Here's the sort of the dating history. Go Leonardo DiCaprio. The rumors were that Blake Lively was up for The Great Gatsby, and then hooked up with Leo, but then didn't ultimately get the part, and then didn't stay with Leo, is what the rumors are. Was she with Ryan Gosling? That's I guess she wasn't in the movie with him.
Spotted on a few dates.
Allegedly. I mean, who wouldn't want to go on a few dates with him? Penn, but yeah, and then this, yes, they were in Sister of the Traveling Pants. So there's multiple people.
The unimaginable has finally unfolded. After years of maintaining his signature calm amid the chaos of Hollywood and constant tabloid glare, Ryan Reynolds finally broke in. It wasn't due to a scandal, a box office failure, or a public feud. It was something far deeper. It was Blake. Sources close to the pair say Ryan's breaking point didn't stem from gossip columns or whispered innuendo. It came from someone within their inner circle, a trusted mutual friend who could no longer ignore what they'd seen. This person quietly handed Ryan screenshots from private group chats where Blake repeatedly belittled his talent to influential figures across the industry: directors, producers, executives. The revelation hit mere days after the prestigious West Side Film Gala, where multiple eyewitnesses confirmed Blake was overheard mocking Ryan in a high-powered circle that included Christopher Nolan and 2 other renowned filmmakers. One observer recalled her joking, tried getting him to do anything serious without adding a punchline, adding that the remark visibly unsettled those present. Already shaken, Ryan returned to their Manhattan home and confronted Blake. What? Began as a composed exchange, reportedly unraveled quickly. He approached it like a prosecutor, said a source familiar with the confrontation. He had hard copies of texts, emails, even summaries of meetings she'd had, like he was cross-examining her. Blake's response followed what insiders describe as her usual pattern. First denial, then shifting blame, finally claiming her words were misinterpreted. But what truly devastated Ryan wasn't just the career damage, it was the betrayal of trust. She was rewriting their whole story, the insider explained. She was positioning herself as the serious creative, and him as the lucky guy in a red suit. The situation hit a fever pitch when Ryan played a saved audio clip, Blake's voice speaking to an Academy Award-winning director. "I think he's forgotten how to go deep," she said. "The jokes are a crutch now." That line reportedly pushed Ryan over the edge. Staff inside the residence confirmed hearing Ryan shout something almost unheard of in the usually quiet household. "He was furious," recalled one longtime employee. "It's asking how long she'd been playing this game. It's asking if any of it had ever been real." No physical altercation occurred, but the tension was so intense that security staff were instructed to remain on standby. One of the hardest blows, sources say, was the revelation that Blake had told Martin Scorsese Ryan wasn't versatile enough for a key role in a major upcoming drama. That comment, insiders believe, cost him a career milestone. In the emotional wreckage, Ryan took decisive action. He laid out strict new boundaries. No more joint publicity, no shared PR teams, no overlapping projects. He wanted a complete professional separation, the source confirmed. But he didn't walk away entirely. Ryan reportedly pushed for couples therapy as a condition for continuing their personal relationship. Whether this marked the end or the start of a slow rebuild remains uncertain. What's undeniable now is this: the illusion has shattered, and the polished performance has come to a dramatic halt.
He's been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
I mean, we already knew it wasn't improv. They don't do that on Saturday Night Live and that kind of big thing now. I guess he could have made it, not read the scripts and do it.
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it.
He pitched it. So he didn't like what they wrote and pitched a new one. Now, to be fair, they could have not maybe addressed the controversy, and then it was Ryan's idea to address the controversy, and then said, what if I just sort of softly address it? Because look, legally, I'm sure he couldn't get into too much detail. That's probably why they didn't, but then at least he did something to address the elephant in the room, and so maybe that was more him pitching.
While Ryan Reynolds was quietly redrawing the lines of his relationship behind the scenes, another man was unknowingly walking straight into the chaos: Justin Baldoni. When he agreed to co-lead opposite Blake Lively in the romantic film It Ends. With us, he expected a career-defining collaboration. Instead, he found himself caught in a tangled web of behind-the-scenes drama that blindsided him and cast a long shadow over his professional future. In the beginning, everything seemed above board smooth. Even early press praised their electric connection with initial script reads, earning accolades for their believable chemistry. Media outlets hailed their casting as inspired, and crew insiders noted how naturally they played off each other. But according to 3 different crew members, that chemistry wasn't spontaneous. It was orchestrated by Blake. She began suggesting bonding exercises not included in the official production schedule, the coordinator said, often pushing for solo rehearsal time with Justin ahead of emotionally charged or intimate scenes. What seemed like commitment to her role quickly became something else, controlled and unsettling. Lighting crews started seeing a strange pattern emerge. These extra rehearsals often coincided with rumors that Ryan would be visiting set. Once uncanny, one technician said. They'd be mid-kiss in a take, and suddenly Ryan would walk in. Intentional or not, it didn't feel like chance. Blake's influence wasn't limited to rehearsals. She reportedly began shaping the script too. A writer's assistant confirmed Blake asked to add more sensual moments between their characters' face touches, waist grabs, slow physical gestures tailored for maximum visual impact. Meanwhile, Blake also started crafting moments off-screen. Her personal assistant allegedly overheard phone calls to Ryan where she dropped pointed comments about Justin's emotional depth and understanding. It was always just loud enough, said the assistant. Like she wanted Ryan to hear it and react. Justin, increasingly uneasy, started noticing the shift. He said it stopped feeling natural, recalled a close friend. It was like Blake was directing the relationship, not just the scenes. But what could he do challenge a Hollywood powerhouse mid-production? Things reached a breaking point near the end of filming. Soundtech reported hearing Blake laugh on a phone call, referencing a steamy sequence designed for press traction. These shots with Justin will shake Ryan up, she reportedly said. The way she said it so offhand, it sent chills, the technician added. Yet the most damaging blow came post-wrap. As promotional materials spotlighted the pair's chemistry, Blake allegedly began planting seeds of concern behind the scenes. She told colleagues Justin had become too touchy, claiming he took liberties during physical scenes or held her longer than the script called for. A film marketing executive shared that these allegations spread rapidly, leaking into meetings, dinners, and insider conversations. Trusted voices began questioning Justin's professionalism. His representative later confirmed he now avoids joint appearances with Blake, opting for separate interviews. "I was blindsided," said the rep. He believed they had mutual respect, but it spiraled into character assassination. What began as an exciting opportunity for Justin Baldoni slowly morphed into a carefully staged drama, one that damaged his image and left him with deep skepticism toward the very industry he once trusted.
Ryan really meet, right? They met on Green Lantern, but during that phase of Green Lantern, which was, I guess, back in 2009, was when they were shooting this, or 2010, filming was March to August 2010, Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, people forget about this, including Gwyneth Paltrow when she interviewed her. We'll get to that in a second. But people forget, yeah, these two were married, right? And so during that period of 2010, 2011, he was with Scarlett Johansson, and Blake was in a long-term relationship with Gossip Girl, Penn Badgley, right, Kim?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that we know from you, right? Yeah, they were together for a while, and it just kind of seems like that ended. But the big question is, was there essentially cheating? And it's kind of hard to be able to tell. So there's two different narratives, but specifically what Ryan and Blake's narrative is, they both were not in relationships. When they did get together, it was after the filming of Green Lantern, and everything was good. But I think what made everything more complicated was there was a rumor due to a tweet that was sent out by a reporter. So that's kind of the odd thing here.
Smoking gun, if you will. This is what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, here we have the article. That during the allegation of this really all stemmed from a journalist who now claimed it in a deleted tweet.
Yes.
Now, the tweet has been archived. Here it is from Kat Marnell. Fun fact, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when Ryan Reynolds was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during the Green Lantern. Us Weekly had discovered this, and their beauty editor would tell us this at events and about how Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team's threats squashed the story. Now, again, this person's reporting, it is hearsay, right? Because she's
Absolutely
clearly
hearsay.
saying,
this is
the beauty editor over at this place is telling me this, so it is multiple steps to confirm this, everybody, so it's not confirmed. But it wouldn't be a surprise. They were clearly had chemistry during that tour. I remember, Kim, all the junkets that people have seen of Ryan and Blake, there is so much seemingly flirtation. I would say even more than what Justin and Blake was having on their videos, that everyone seems to think there was a relation.
What may have seemed like a fleeting moment of backstage boldness was, according to insiders, a carefully honed strategy one Blake Lively has refined over years on set. From her early Gossip Girl days to today's blockbuster productions, makeup, artists, costume staff, and co-stars quietly pass around the same warning. Work with Blake and tread carefully. 7 longtime crew members from that Manhattan teen drama recall that while audiences obsessed over Serena van der Woodsen, Blake was already laying the groundwork for her next career leap. She was always planning 3 moves ahead, an assistant director said. Her relationships were calculated, built, or dropped based on what benefited her. The recurring pattern, now dubbed the innocent switch, unfolds like this. First, she charms key players, earning their trust. Then, she manufactures murky moments with colleagues. Finally, at her chosen moment, she flips the script, presenting herself as the misunderstood victim, while the fallout lands squarely on someone else. A veteran director of photography called the tactic genius but cold. Blake rarely gives direct commands. Instead, she offers ideas disguised as creative suggestions. What if we tried it like this? If it succeeds, she claims credit. Yeah. If not, she deflects blame as just brainstorming. Wardrobe teams recount near-identical incidents. Weeks before filming, Blake signed off on every outfit. Come shoot day, she'd question a hemline or neckline, causing delays for last-minute changes only to later applaud the team for adapting so well. She creates the chaos, one costumer noted, then gets praised for fixing it. Hairstylists echo similar experiences. Mornings started with compliments in the trailer, followed by midday texts to producers claiming the style wasn't working. Cue a rushed redo, then another round of thank yous for flexibility, while the original stylist's reputation took a hit. The same control applied to on-camera intimacy. One actor who shared scenes with Blake in 2018 said she directed every motion, how to breathe, when to touch, where to stand. Months later, he learned she had privately called him to forward, despite, as he put it, her placing my hands exactly where she wanted. A senior makeup artist summed up Hollywood's growing consensus. There's an underground alert system, not because Blake is cruel, but because she's masterful at engineering scenes where others stumble while she stays polished. The secret weapon? Documentation? A publicity staffer who once worked near her team claims Blake composes texts, voice memos, and emails that feel vague enough to deny intent, but are specific enough to twist later, if needed. She builds a paper trail, they said, for conflicts that haven't even happened yet. This quiet warning now circulates through encrypted group chats where senior staff trade notes before accepting gigs. "You don't want to be the next story," one line producer confided, revealing they deleted every message with her name post-shoot, knowing full well she'd archived her own receipts. In the end, Blake's most intricate role may never appear on screen. It's unfolding behind the scenes through whispered conversations, unspoken glances, and 2 a.m. email threads. A high-stakes production where she not only writes the script, but plays both director and star, exiting each act as the triumphant heroine and the misunderstood victim, leaving those around her reeling, wondering how they ended up cast as the antagonists in a drama they never auditioned for.
Is possible because as we've been going through this whole drama with Justin Baldoni, we're learning so much about the way that PR works, and things that happen behind the scenes, right? We're seeing all these texts of these PR employees and agents that are all speaking with press outlets directly, trying to make sure there's good stories about their their client, or blocking potential stories about their client. And it makes me start to wonder, like, could this really be possible? Would this be something? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there have been stories of affairs between celebrities that have been blocked in the press because of PR. And I think that's part of why this whole Justin Baldoni story is so fascinating. It's just because people are really getting a behind the scenes look at the reality of PR and what all of that means.
Beneath the color-coordinated outfits and lighthearted Instagram jabs lies what many industry insiders are now calling a $50 million illusion, the carefully maintained image of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' marriage. The same calculated approach Blake has long used to navigate Hollywood appears to be fueling what may be her most profitable creation yet, her union with Ryan. Behind the polished smiles and staged family snapshots, however, the fractures are starting to widen. They're becoming impossible to overlook. Financial analysts with knowledge of celebrity endorsement structures have confirmed growing speculation. The Lively-Reynolds relationship isn't just a romance, it's a corporate powerhouse. One top-tier marketing executive who's handled 3 major campaigns with the couple confirms their shared brand value exceeds $50 million. Individually they shine, but together they're unstoppable, the executive noted. There's simply too much financial weight tied to their image to walk away even if the emotional bond fizzled long ago. What's even more telling is their perfectly misaligned work schedules. A seasoned production manager who's collaborated with both stars describes a strangely consistent pattern. They're rarely in the same city, and almost never on the same project. It's engineered, the coordinator explained. Their teams make sure they're filming in different countries for months at a time. To the public, it looks like a couple temporarily separated by work commitments, but in reality, it's 2 distinct lives moving in parallel. On the rare occasions they appear together at a family event or gala, insiders say the charade is undeniable. Catering supervisor who staffed several of their private gatherings described it as like watching 2 actors slip into character. There's laughter and affection, but only when cameras are around. Once the lenses are gone, so is the conversation. They barely speak unless it's time for a photo op. Then there's their famed social media presence. Once admired as quirky and adorable, it's now being scrutinized with a different perspective. What fans see as playful teasing is often veiled resentment, says Dr. Elaine Wilkins, a behavioral specialist who's reviewed hours of footage. It's not cute anymore. It's a digital pressure valve. But perhaps the most revealing claim is what's now being referred to as the timeline clause. According to 3 insiders close to the couple, Blake and Ryan have come to a private agreement and internal countdown to when they'll quietly dissolve their marriage. There's a date, claimed a financial consultant with direct knowledge of their estate planning. It's all been calculated to preserve brand equity. One godparent to their child confirmed what many in their inner circle have long suspected. The relationship has an expiration date. It's never been about if they'll separate, the godparent admitted. It's when, and making sure it happens quietly. In the final piece that tears down the fairy tale. Despite sharing a mailing address, they don't truly share a home. A senior staffer involved in their household. Operations confirmed the couple has divided their property into 2 separate wings. They use different entrances. They maintain private living quarters. It's more like creative partners who sometimes share a project, said the source. So the romantic ideal sold to millions may soon be over, not because it's failed, but because the terms are nearly up. This love story isn't a happily ever after, it's a high-end, well-timed collaboration. Nearing its final act,
Inez.
I'm so sorry we have to admit that.
And I am Father of the Year over here
didn't have to.
for allowing her to say such language,
have to
which,
happen either.
to her credit, she really didn't want to say, and then came back later and said, I want to say it now, when I started looking at other people to play
Yeah,
it.
but Ryan, to our discredit, we made Nezzy do, I'm not shitting you, 70 to 500 versions
Yeah.
of that line.
I'm going to pay.
They're so proud of it, guys. Like, it's so weird. We're reacting to it again because I think it's important reporting on this multiple times. Elsrich and Kim, I want to get your thoughts because, as we were saying earlier in the live, Kim, please echo it again. There's so many reasons this is wrong. One, this girl's 7. It's her father. She didn't want to do it. And then she feels obligated because daddy wants her to do it. Oh, and daddy's going to have other kids do it. I'm going to miss out. Okay, daddy, I'll do it. And then she does it against her will. And then they make her do 400 alternatives. Kim, I'll start with you. Express again, why is this such a problem?
I think, and I want to be clear that it's like, I wasn't there. I don't know all of the context specifically, but it always concerns me when I see a situation where a child has voiced that they don't want to do something. And then there seems to be a chain of events that suggests that they have been manipulated or pressured into doing it. And that's always that sets off a lot of alarm bells in my head. Because I believe that kids have the right to consent. I believe kids have the right to say no. And if kids are uncomfortable, that should be heard by the grown-ups that are there and respected. And I don't get that feeling that that's what happened here. I mean, I guess we'd have to ask her, but having the 70 to 500 versions and the subject matter, what we're talking about here, it all just doesn't feel right.
that seemingly flawless fairy tale marriage we've been fed through red carpet perfection and meticulously edited Instagram, snapshots might be a little more than a scripted performance. Behind closed doors, Blake and Ryan aren't just acting. On screen, they're staging something off-screen, too. From behind-the-scenes power plays to strategic manipulation of colleagues, the fractures in their dynamic are becoming harder to hide. According to insiders, their relationship operates more like a business arrangement than a heartfelt union. And with more Hollywood insiders beginning to break their silence, the glossy exterior may soon collapse entirely. So next time you scroll past one of their polished family portraits, look just a bit closer.